All right, so just wanted to do just, a little chit chat, maybe read the Bible a little bit for you guys. I'm not gonna do like, what is that called when they call like the priest in to deliver like last rites? I'm not a priest, so I'm not gonna be doing that. But what I will be doing is kind of just pointing out some things that everybody had access to. Poor thing's falling apart. Everybody had access to in the whole world, right? This information right here, right? And how everybody wanted to argue with me about it and tell me like, oh, no, yeah, no, guys, no, get ready to die. And again, I'm going to be talking to not any of you, but my friend Brett, and also, the Lord will inform me as to why you guys thought this was going to be some sort of eternal ditty party. What the fuck were you thinking? Like, honestly, what was going through your little retarded, deranged creature brains, honestly? No, you're not allowed to rape babies for forever. Like, what are you thinking? That will get you killed. That will get you killed, guys. God will fucking destroy you. Like, are you serious right now? So anyway, and that's just one of the things you guys have been doing, right? That's just a little scratching of the surface, right? Just a little scratching of the surface. No, guys, you're not actually allowed to run the planet like this. You understand? This is not, I don't know what planet you thought you were on. You know what I mean? But no, we don't do lawlessness here. No. There are laws, right? And there's commands, right? They're not suggestions. They're not like, oh, well, if you feel like it, you could do this. Or you can just say, F it, right? And just do whatever the hell you please, right? On this planet. That's actually not how this works. There's laws. And even if the police and the FBI and the military and, everybody who's in charge of upholding those laws doesn't want to do that, right? Even though they also feel as though they are exempt from the law. Go figure, right? It doesn't matter. God said you're not. You're actually not, right? So God is the official law keeper of the planet, right? And so you have to look at it this way, and this is the way I look at it. The level of criminal activity happening everywhere, right? But specifically here in America, Babylon, is so severe that if these crimes were to be tried individually in an actual functioning, just judicial system, right, in an actual court of law under the book and letter of the law, you would be a recipient of the death penalty. So because there's so many of you, right, just wipe them all out. Just wipe them all out, and that's the way it has to be, guys. That's the way it has to be. Hello, random dude. Anyway, that's what's happening, guys. So God has given you more than enough warnings, more than enough time to repent. You're not doing that. Nobody cares, right? I don't care. You don't care. Hi, hello, guys. Good morning or afternoon or whatever you're doing right now, wherever you are in the world. Where are you guys? Just to make sure you're not bots. Are you actually functioning people, or are you just bots? Anyway, I'm going to read the book of Revelation, chapter 21. There's a couple of things that have come to light recently, and people have asked, over the years, I've gotten a lot of flack about oh, this planet would never, oh, that's nice. This planet would never go away, or nothing could ever happen to the planet. No, guys, no, that's not true. In the Bible, it does say that this earth will pass away, right? The old earth and the old heavens will pass away, and that is what we are experiencing now. You guys killed the planet. You killed her, with corruption. You're also at home, and it's 8 a.m. Nice. Yeah, it's 8 a.m. for me as well. Pacific time zone. I'm not guessing. I'm guessing you're in my time zone. Well, you're in my time zone. Okay, so you're over here on the West Coast, random dude. You ready? You ready for this? It's gonna get buck the fuck wild. It's gonna get buck the fuck wild. And truly, nobody knows how bad it's gonna be, you know? But like I said, God gave you like a little sneak peek with Venezuela, and just instantaneously, you know what I mean? Just end the Diddy party, right? No more Diddy party. Smash, right? God is putting the freaking ban hammer on all of this corruption. So, you know, and in the rule of thumb, and this is what God told me when I first volunteered to the Lord, submitted myself to God, and said, you know, God, I'll do anything to help these children, right? Specifically mine, but the rest of the kids, you know, I was willing to die for that, right? For these children, to get this, to stop this, right? To stop this from happening. And so God said, listen, God will save who deserves to be saved, right? Which is why I've been saved, right? As many times as these Nazis have tried to kill me, right? And you wouldn't believe the things that they've done. You wouldn't believe it. And I'm not talking little shit. I'm talking shot by the police. I'm talking dragged into the satanic dungeon under the jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking meat grinders, industrial meat grinders. You know, the most unthinkable things have happened to me on this journey, but because I submitted myself to the Lord and keep his commands, right? I not only have faith in Jesus, I keep his commands, faith in Christ, keep God's commandments. That's the biggest part. And I just do whatever God tells me to do, right? And God said I'm actually blameless, which is really cool. Now, does that mean that I have never sinned in my life? Absolutely not. You cannot get through this lifetime with the devil running the planet without sin, right? The devil sucks you into all these things. I mean, it's impossible, right? No person has, unless you're an innocent children, you know, are truly blameless. They're without sin. But you know, as an adult, right, once you come of age and come of an age of understanding right from wrong, you know, you understand rules, regulations, laws, right, and then you choose to, you know, willingly, intentionally violate them, right, then you're doing that maliciously, right, with your free will. So then that's obviously going to be considered a sin when you decide to just, you know, book up to the Almighty God and say, yeah, I'm gonna take God on, you know. And again, why would like God, like I'm telling you, God looks at these corrupt assholes like fucking cockroaches, because that's what they are, you know. It's like, are you serious right now? Like, ew. All right, God will wipe you the fuck right out, your whole bloodline. I don't know how when people in the internet say I squished a ball and other people make a massive deal. I don't know what that means. It's 11:06 a.m. for you, baby K, so you are on the other coast. I'm guessing, again, somewhere on that time zone, the Eastern time zone. I squished a ball. Okay, whatever. I think you're a bot, though. You're not making sense. Like, that doesn't make sense. Again, I don't speak the clone bot language, so I don't. This is probably why this didn't work out. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, when I'm telling you guys, like, hey, you know, the elites are killing you, they're destroying the planet, you're going to end up dead, your whole family's going to end up dead, you know, and you try to kill me for telling you that information. This is why, because I don't speak bot. You know what I mean? Like, I speak direct, like, straightforward, like, they are killing you, right? And now that has already occurred in a sense, because what has happened, the damage cannot be fixed. It can't be undone, right? So you're dead. I mean, you're a very limited time left on the planet. But besides that, it's like, this is why, because there's a language barrier, because we're not the same species, you know? I meant it as a stress ball. I don't like how when people in the internet say I squished a ball as in a stress ball, and other people make a massive deal out of it and make it weird. Why did you say that? Okay, so no, and I'm not being an asshole. Listen, I'm trying to understand your language. Okay? We're not the same species, so I'm trying to understand it. what was the point of that comment? Like, what were you trying to like reiterate or get across to me or the other viewers? And again, please don't think that I'm being a dick about this. I'm not. I just genuinely do not. I cannot comprehend what in the context of the conversation. What was that supposed to contribute? What did it mean? I'll let you type and I'm going to continue, talking. So anyway, yeah, guys, it's, you wanted to take it to the death. Here we are. Here we are, and that's funny, right? I think that's funny, right? Because I don't fear death. You know what I mean? I don't fear death. I only fear God, right? And you should fear God, right? But you guys don't. And I don't know why, for whatever reason you don't. I think it's because I look at it this way, and I I have to say, God has been really good to you guys. God's been really soft. God has allowed you to live such a beautiful, luxurious lifestyle. All of the beautiful blessings that only God can provide, such as food, such as air, such as water, such as health, such as anything, right? Because if you look at it, even your nice houses and your cars, right, they are built out of materials that come from the earth, right? They're harvested, right, from the earth, the wood, the concrete, the metals, right, all of it, even the plastic, right? Now creatures take the materials and they, configure it into something new and then use it to build these things, right? But God provided all of that for your pleasure and enjoyment. Let's give it up for God. God, you have been such a good God. You have been so generous. You have been so kind. You have been so patient, and you have been so merciful, God. And I commend the Lord, because I'm not God. And let me tell you something. If I were God, oh, hell no. Y'all would have been fucking wiped out. Listen, if I were God, y'all would have never existed. That's my main question for the Lord. Why did you allow these creatures to exist? Why? Right? They serve no purpose. They're parasites, right? All they do is take, steal, kill, destroy, and then on top of that, feel entitled to do so, and on top of that, treat people who do not do so, right? Absolute garbage, like they're better than the people, the real people that actually made life on this planet possible, right? The ones with intelligence, the ones with a work ethic, right? The ones that actually kept this party going for you guys, right? And then you take people like me, right, who was a contributor, unfortunately, right, to your good life, right? And then you treat me like absolute fucking garbage and feel like, yeah, this is my life, like, yeah. But people sacrificed a lot for you to have that good life. You feel me? And I'm one of them. And it's like, okay, but you didn't do anything to like earn or deserve this. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is all just silly talk because you guys are about to perish and go to hell. So, yay, big party in hell, just like you guys wanted, right? That's perfect, right? But don't think that you're going to be keeping any of this shit, right? You don't get to have, It's Diddy party's over, guys. It's played out. You trashed the place. The place is fucking tanked, right? We're out of supplies, right? We're out of everything. Food, gas, money, water, right? No more party. Who's gonna pay for the party, guys? The kids? No, we're not doing that. Not anymore. You've been doing that too long. You've been profiting off the blood of children too long. Folks, it's ending. You feel me? Your whole bloodline, your lives, your livelihoods, your properties. Bye. 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 The wicked shall perish. That's not it's not, you can't think that this could have possibly sustained. Random dude, you never explained yourself. Why? Because you're a bot. I caught you. All right, let's see. Let's see what the tarot. Oh wait, I was gonna read the Book of Revelation. Should I do that first, or should I just pull a couple cards? You know, guys, I woke up yesterday. It's so funny. Somebody made a decision. It's so funny because like I knew California was about to blow. Like this is my last stop. I really wanted Arizona to be my last stop on the planet. Right? I'm done. I'm done with Earth. But, you know, ended up, Sin City, of course, would be the last stop, right? Ugh. Right? Ugh. Anyway, I woke up yesterday morning, and you can even ask my stalkers to verify this, because it's the truth. I was like, man, California is not doing good. It's not looking good for California. That's what I said verbatim. I said, it's not looking good for California. And then the next thing you know, I'm like, oh my God, they're actually under earthquake warning. And they had that big earthquake. And it wasn't like a massive, like destructive earthquake the night before last, but it was on certain fault lines that it's like the worst possible spot because it's going to trigger all of the fault lines. And that's like a final warning from God. And for all of you clowns and bots and Nazis and pedophiles that were like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy. That never happened. That would never happen. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, California, like, everybody's always known that the big one was coming to Cali. I mean, look what happened in LA. I think it was in, like, 94. Like, the freeways collapsed and, like, all this stuff. And I'm like, why do you think that couldn't happen again? Duh. You know, like, you move to the most earthquake-prone state in the whole world, and then tell me that earthquakes are just not a possibility, right? Okay. All right, Becky. You know, it's just like, again, it's mental retardation. And there's no other excuse for it. Something is wrong with the brain in the creatures. It is. Very, very much so. Complete delusion. Complete denial. Complete cognitive dissonance. Right? No awareness or acceptance of reality, right? It's like when I was telling people the sun was too hot. I'm like, man, this is going to cause some major damage to this planet. This is bad, right? This is bad. The sun is too hot, right? We can't expect that life can sustain on Earth with the temperature being this high, right? We're not, it's deadly, right? And it's not just deadly to people, right? Animals, which we require to survive, right? We have to have animals on the planet, or again, extinction, right? Again, everything, the water supply, the electrical grids, you know, when your phone gets too hot and it overheats, you know, and you get that warning, like, you know, heat warning on the phone. Same thing happens, guys, to like power plants and other things on a massive scale. It's when things overheat, they either combust, right? They melt, they stop working, right? And so it's like, people are telling me like, oh, but we have air conditioning, so we're good. And I'm like, what? Where do you think the air conditioning comes from? I don't think. It just magically appears, right? It just magically appears. It's just handed to them, right? They're born into the air conditioning here in America. Literally, right? They come out of the womb, right, into an air-conditioned box. And that is where they remain. Air-conditioned box to air-conditioned box to air-conditioned box, all day, every day. Absolutely no awareness of what is occurring outside of their air-conditioned box, right? And it's not just an awareness, right? Because I could forgive a lack of awareness. They have an awareness because you have to step outside at some point, right? It is an absolute and utter defiance. It is a defiance, right, to the Lord God. That is what it is. You're not going to tell me everybody's... Again, I know they're all NPCs, and that's what makes this so frustrating. I'm like, they're not even fucking people, man. They're just bots, you know. They're just creatures. They're NPCs. They don't care about anything. They're literally robots, you know. And so it's like, but they were allowed to essentially kill everybody on Earth. You know, we let a bunch of bots, like real bots, you know, bring down the whole planet with their corruption, their greed, their thinking that it is funny to enable pedophiles to be pedophiles, Nazis, terrorists, right? They're so enamored and obsessed with the cult, right? With Elon Musk and celebrities, right? That they're willing to die for them, which they have. They've sacrificed themselves and their children and families, whatever they care about, they have sacrificed it to the celebrities. But they did that on behalf of the entire planet. And I think that that's horrible, right? And I wish that something could have been done, but because of the Epstein ring, it's like, well, nope, she's an Epstein ring victim. Nobody can help her, right? Nobody's allowed. She's got to be tossed to the streets and raped and starved and jailed and tortured and left out in the hot sun to bake all day, right? And it's like, you know, like, really, guys? Okay, well, I hope you had a good time doing that. I hope it was entertaining for you. Right? I hope it was fun to watch. I hope you and your crew and your little gang had an awesome time, right? Making fun of me and torturing me and just thinking that this was the funniest thing, right? Because now you're all dead, your whole crew. Isn't that funny? I think it's funny. Anyway, a decision has been made. See? Random dude never responded. Why? It's a bot. You can't believe them. Even when they say, I'm not a bot, they don't have the comprehension skills, right? They don't have, this is a perfect example. It's a perfect example. In their brain, I can be talking about the most serious things, life or death. And I'm talking life or death for tens of millions of people. They don't, and God gave them Venezuela, what just happened now, right? To show them, right? To show them. Your whole state will be pancaked, right? Millions dead. Well, California's gonna crack in half, and I've been saying this for years. Half is going to go under the sea, right? And then the other half, and then again, it is a question mark as to how, I mean, this is going to set off Armageddon, but how deep into the continent, right, are we going to have the pancake effect? Right? Anybody know? No, you don't. You don't. Why? Because this has never happened before. Nothing of this scale, right? Nothing of this magnitude has ever occurred on planet Earth before. So your top scientists don't know, the elites don't know, the overlords don't know, the CIA doesn't know. The only one that knows is God himself. Because it's up to God, right? It's not in their control. It's not in their power. Bill Gates is not in control. Elon Musk is not in control. Donald Trump is not in control. And nobody in the background is in control either. This is the best part. And I was thinking, this got me chuckling this morning. You know how many bunkers they have on the West Coast? All defunct. Yeah, bunkers are no good. And so, you know, and then it's like you look and like, okay, so how, I mean, obviously this half of the country is bunker territory, right? I mean, it's all over the country, but they were able to build like the most extravagant, like deep bunkers here and like all this stuff because you can go down far and into the ground. On the East Coast, you can't do that in a lot of places, right? Like Florida, Georgia, the water table's not, it's just too high, too low, whatever you would say. I'm not an architect, right? I don't know this shit. But, you know, I know when you dig down in Florida, like 6 feet in Sarasota, where I was at, right? Dunk, 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 dunk. The water comes up. So like here, that doesn't happen, right? You can actually dig really far down. So they have like all these tunnels and like all these like bunkers that they made for themselves to ride out Armageddon for like 10 years of supplies, the finest things in life, water, food, electricity, just anything and everything they could possibly desire, right? To pamper themselves while everybody on top dies, right? And then after 10 years, they come out and they're like, oh, you know, well rested and just ready to start their new civilization. But now, right, God is frustrating their plans. Do you see what I mean? It's so funny. Don't you guys think that that's funny? I think that's great. Because all of their bunkers, their underground military bases, their tunnels, even their undersea military bases that they have off the coast of California, because they've got full-fledged freaking like submarines and like all of that, boom, gone. 31 military bases above ground, just in California alone. Bam! Pancaked. Everybody dead. You see what I mean? It's so funny. It's so funny. Guys, God is so good all the time, isn't he? Anyway, if you're a good person, you would be laughing at that. All right. So, let's see here. Yeah, no more tunneling, smuggling kids through tunnels. Right, celebrities, no more bunkers, aww, no more mansions in the hills, yeah, bye. It's so funny. And then all of their shit that their mansions are filled with, like their extravagant collections of purses and shoes and like crap, literal freaking garbage, right? Gone. Maybe they'll be sitting there waiting for their FEMA check, you know. Bah! You know, it's so funny. Anyway, okay. God, what do we need to know today? What does the viewership of my channel need to know? It's so good. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody better send me some money. I have no money for food or bus. Oh, the devil. The devil's here, guys. This is you guys. You're bound. Look at this. See, this is why I chose not to work for the devil. The devil could be trying to make somebody an offer or send somebody some sort of monetary stuff. And this is what I have to say about that. Just for someone like me, right, who never engaged with the devil, who doesn't engage with the devil, right, who never did deals with the devil, the material things of this planet are worthless, valueless, right? They have no value. Like I said, I'm Christina-Disney, right? I'm the true heiress of the Walt Disney Corporation, okay? That was stolen, right, by the cult, okay? So, that they stole, I mean, we don't know what it's valued at today, right? But we'll say around 300 billion, okay? They could come back in and take my stolen property, right? And try to offer it to me today, right? As some sort of deal. And what would I say to that? Bitch, that's about to be under the sea. Burbank is going to be under the sea. Anaheim, under the sea. What good is it going to do me at the bottom of the ocean? You see what I mean? Florida, also Andadasi. Tokyo. Andadasi. You feel me? Paris, like a fire. Like a fire. Right? Shanghai, we'll see. They got earthquakes. They got tsunamis coming. Right? All kinds of stuff. Right? Typhoons. Andadasi. Right? It has zero value. Right? None of it has any value anymore. There's nothing on earth that has value. You know, you can't offer something. This is like, you know, it's like me going like, hey man, hey, I got something for you. I need a favor, right? Check this out. You like this? Looks good, right? Right. I need a big favor and I'm gonna give you this. But you might as well, you know, that's about as how good as it is, you know, like literally it's that thing. Hey, listen, in an emergency, I could eat this. It has more value than the Walt Disney Corporation. You feel me? So anyways, man, oh man, this whole thing has just ended up being the biggest knee slapper, hasn't it? Hasn't it? So yeah, anyway, the devil could be making someone an offer. Let's get some more information on that. Oh, because they don't want to die. Because see, there's about to be a lot of death, Armageddon style. Right? So somebody's trying to buy their way out of death. Yeah, got a lot on their plate. And again, this guy, listen, he picked up all those wands himself. You know why? Because he's a greedy son of a bitch. Right? He overestimated the amount of weight and the heat of the sun and all of this stuff. Right? He underestimated. Right? He just kept seeing these nice wands and going, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. When he could have been carrying 3 or 4 and zippity-doo-dah down the street. Right? But he's got all these wands. He has all this shit. Super heavy. He can't carry it. He's fucked. Right? And he doesn't want to put any of it down. He wants it all. Right? He's not willing to... Right? But he can't carry it. Right? So that's how they're feeling. Queen of Swords. Somebody sees through the bullshit. All right, somebody sees that it's a bad offer because someone's just trying to get out of some sort of self-imposed problems, right? Problems that the Queen of Swords just doesn't have, that don't pertain to her, right? Not her problem, right? Not her circus, not her monkeys, that type energy. Yeah, because shit's hitting the fan, guys. It has hit. And I'm going to tell you why. So they're only allowing, you know, they own the news and social media, okay? They're only allowing this much information to come out, right? The idea is just have everybody sit quietly and die, right? And so they don't want to disrupt business. They want to milk it until the very last drop. I can still go on my phone right now, if I have money, right, and buy myself a ticket to Disneyland. And it's right, it's a safety issue, right? But they don't wanna, I mean, you gotta think about like the realtors in California right now, right? They're quaking. They're shooketh. Because guess what? Not only, earthquakes obviously are going to impact your property value, right? But even the imminent threat of something like this. You feel me? So, and that's not all. There's so much money, like, going on in California, all ill-gotten gains. All ill-gotten gains. Every bit of it corrupt, every bit of it tainted with the blood of innocent babies and children. Everything. Right. And then we let it go. The money, the property. I stole this fair and square, right? I got this by doing the most for Satan. I'm not giving it up, right? Don't give it up, girl. Like I said, it's just like I told the CIA with Disney World. You take it to hell with you, right? It's yours. Everything you stole from me is yours. Fair and fucking square. Except, I don't know what I'm gonna say. My daughter. You don't get to have my daughter. No, you don't. She's not going to hell with you. You fucking retards. What's wrong with you? Right? Neither am I. Neither are my animals. But as long as you still have breath in your body, right, you can hold on to it. Look. My stuff. I stole it. It's my stuff. Right, my stuff. Right? You feel me? You're caught up, bitch. You're caught the fuck up. And another problem, guys. So you got to understand, there's a lot of people on the west coast of the United States, you know, and I'm not even going to talk about Asia, Japan, because I'm really fucking pissed at them as well. I hate everybody. I give everybody the same energy they give me, right? But because they did this too. They were heavily involved in covering this up. They wanted my money, and they didn't want to give it up. And so they get to keep it, right? It's theirs fair and square. They're using my last name, my family's name, right? For great gains and profit, right? It's a huge tourist attraction. You feel me? So no, they're not giving that up. They're not giving that back. And I didn't even want it. I just needed a place to stay, Japan. You know, since my name's on the door and everything, I was thinking, I could do that, but we never got to that point, did we? No. Why? The corruption. Corruption is too deep. So now, Japan, guess what? Yeah. You get to go play with the sturgeon and the rays. And the sharks. Everything. Your ancient civilizations, Japan. Ancient. Right? That far predate Babylonia. Destroyed. Decimated. Same for you, China. Same for you, Europe. Right? Everything. Thousands of years of progress and evolution. Thousands of years, right? Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds. How long, right? Diminished. Why? Corruption. All gone. And that's a shame. Isn't it a shame? This is what you guys wanted, right? You wanted the profits, the gain, the money. It's the greed. It's the greed. The greed and the gluttony. Everybody wants to be like a big fat gluttonous American. Come on, guys. Really, world? This is what you look at these things and you think, oh, that's how I want to be? Are you on drugs? Have you been here? Like, ew. They're so gross. I can't believe the whole world literally killed themselves for these things. It's it's unbelievable. These fat pigs, you know. That's one of the hardest things for me, is like knowing that all of the progress that humanity made over the last several thousand years is now under the sea. And it's not just the physical things, right? It's not just like, I mean, you gotta think there's so much, right? But it's the things that have been learned. Like Japan, one of the things, I mean, you can watch some of these people work online, like on YouTube. I watched one who's a bartender, and oh my God, he's like a samurai bartender, but like just the level of skill and technique, right? The sushi crafters, the sushi makers in Japan, they're very precise, very attentive to detail, and this takes a lot of fine tuning and a lot of, I mean, it's like generations. Some of the little, yakisoba shops in Japan, this is like 5th generation, perfecting a craft, perfecting a technique, and bringing that to the world, right? Bringing that finished product, which is never really finished because it's continually being perfected by the new generation and then handed down again. All gone. All gone. All lost to the fucking Nazis. All lost to the greedy, corrupt, stinky, fat American pigs. All. It just, do you know what I mean? That's like one of the biggest frustrations to me, is that everybody followed America all the way down into the pits of hell. And why? It's just, there's a song from Miss Saigon. It's called The American Dream, and that speaks a lot to kind of what America is. But there's a line: "Are you surprised we went insane, with dollars pouring down like rain?" Sold it all. Anyway, I was going to read Revelation to you guys, but I got to go take a break. I'm pissed. You just have to think from my angle, having been screaming, losing everything, being tortured by the Nazis for attempting to prevent this from happening, right? And then now having to sit here and physically not just watch it happen, right? But I am living it. I am on the streets, living outside in, it's hot. It's hot. So feeling it, experiencing it, and I didn't cause this. I tried so hard, to prevent this from happening to you guys. And shit, we'll see what God has in store. But now the West Coast is about to blow, guys. There's nothing that can be done. It's happening now. Enough warnings have been issued by God. Just get ready. You're gonna meet your demise. The wages of sin is death, and this is the cost of corruption as well. But don't say nobody tried to stop it. Don't say it couldn't have been prevented. Yes, it could have. Yes, it could have. And God did try. Right? God sent people, chose people, right, to try to help you, try to stop this, try to save you, try to save your civilizations, your country, right, your planet. And because of the corruption and the wickedness, right, it could not be done. But this was not God's fault. God didn't do this to you. I didn't do this to you. You did this to yourselves. You did this to yourselves, laughing. And again, I guess my only question really is like, what, like the delusion. The delusion. Like thinking like, oh, this could never happen. Oh, that's not possible. Oh no, she's crazy. She's insane. We're always going to be allowed to do whatever we want, and there will never be consequences to any action. Guys, cause and effect, the law of consequence and karma, that's universal, and that is like applicable and has been for eternity. There's isn't that the law of physics? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So why would you think that knocking the earth off its axis would not have consequences that were detrimental? I mean, they knew that it was going to be detrimental, clearly. They knew the Hollywood execs were going to make the real life lake of fire, right? Which is what they did, right? But why would you believe that this would somehow benefit you as a minion, as a bot, as a pawn sacrifice? Why would you believe that this would be a great idea and that this is an ideology that you should protect? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, but again, I'm not the same species as you guys, so I don't get it. I have a higher intelligence level, so maybe that's what it is, but to me, it doesn't take a higher intelligence level to realize that that's a bad idea. All right, I'll be back on later.